Hello, welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to speculate how big SpaceX's Starship fleet could become by the year 2030. We are going to estimate the number of Starships in operation by the year 2030, as well as the number of Super Heavy boosters required to support the launches of the different variants of Starship. Elon has big aspirations when it comes to working towards a sizable Starship fleet, capable of colonizing Mars, serving low Earth orbit operations, and the outer solar system. But we have to understand, Elon is not doing all this to get himself off the planet. So why does he want to build a Starfleet? There is a purpose for creating a large Starship fleet that serves the entire human race and planet Earth as a whole. Elon wants to build many Starships to create a self-sustaining colony on Mars, and after that, colonize the rest of the solar system. This is needed to give humanity the greatest chance of survival in case of a catastrophic extinction-level event here on Earth. Different flora, fauna or animals, and plant life can also be saved in such an event by creating space-based colonies with artificial gravity with the help of a large Starship fleet. It is also possible to export environmentally unfriendly industries off the planet and use asteroid mining to relieve the Earth from harmful resource extraction practices. Hence, it becomes clearly evident, with some logical deduction, that in the long term, space exploration will benefit Earth. At least, if humanity refrains from starting wars in space or push asteroids to Earth, like in the TV show, The Expanse. The question on how many Starships could be in operation by the year 2030, or in any year, we would have to determine the Raptor engine production rate of SpaceX. The Raptor engine production rate is the deciding factor that determines the number of Starships that can be built. The Raptor engine is by far the most complex element of Starship, but it is luckily also the part that can most easily be produced in large volumes due to its size. Surely, Elon will use advanced volume production techniques learned from Tesla and apply them to Raptor production upscaling. At the end of May 2020, in a tweet replying to the Everyday Astronaut, Elon disclosed that they were at a production rate of one Raptor engine every 48 hours. So roughly 15 Raptor engines per month. So it would take them a little over 2 months to manufacture all the Raptor engines needed for a Super Heavy booster and Starship. At this point in time, the amount of time it takes to produce the Raptor engines are longer than it takes to build the stainless steel hull, heat tiles, and other elements needed to make it fly. However, in a more recent reply to Tim Dodd, Elon revealed that with a new Raptor engine production plant being built in Texas, SpaceX is planning a production rate of 2 to 4 engines per day. These engines will also be the Raptor version 2, which are more advanced, cleaner, less cluttered in terms of design and construction. So let's assume that any Starship flights in 2021 and 2022 will be solely for testing and development purposes that are not meant to fly cargo or people. So starting from 2023, Starships will be built that are meant to join a more permanent fleet. Let's also speculate that SpaceX manages to manufacture Raptors by volume at 4 to 6 per day. With this metric, we can roughly estimate how many Starships SpaceX could have by the year 2030. So what we do is multiply the number of Raptors built in a year by 7, which comes down to 12,775 Raptor engines. With this amount of engines, 440 Super Heavy boosters could be built, or 2,129 Starships with the 6-engine configuration. So, let's make a guesstimated assumption on how many Starships a Super Heavy booster can be responsible for launching. This would be perhaps 20, because Super Heavy boosters are capable of flying many more times in the time span of a regular Starship mission. This becomes more so if the Super Heavy booster is launching starships bound for Mars or the Moon. Even for orbital refueling missions, the refueling Starship will probably take several days to complete its mission. So by this theoretical 20-to-1 ratio, we can calculate the number of Raptors needed to create a launch set of 1 Super Heavy booster and 20 Starships, which is 149. Then, we calculate how many times 149 goes into 12,775, which is roughly 87 times. So in the year 2030, we end up with 87 Super Heavy boosters and 1,740 Starships. I know what you are thinking. How would a fleet of 1,740 Starships actually look like? Well, here is a short animation on how 1,000 Starships look like in orbit. They are all a bit packed together, otherwise, they would not fit in the animation. An operational fleet of 1,740 Starships by the year 2030 is kind of an unimaginable idea to conceptualize the consequences of at this point in time. If each Starship at least launches once a week, SpaceX could transport 9 million passengers to Earth orbit every year. That is, providing Starship will hold 100 passengers, a number that could actually be higher, since the volume of Starship should be able to hold more people on a short journey configuration. With such a huge Starship fleet, transporting the needed materials and colonists to Mars to set up a self-sustaining city there is not going to be a problem either. Or, they could build huge space stations in low Earth orbit with artificial gravity rings where thousands of people could live, work, or vacation there. The possibilities and opportunities that such a SpaceX Starship fleet would enable are truly mind-blowing. We can basically colonize the entire solar system with such a fleet before the year 2040. That is only 19 years from now. That is, within most of our lifetimes. So, do not despair in these trying times of the pandemic. Many exciting years are yet to come for humanity. Thank you for watching this video. If you want to see more of these videos about speculating the future of space exploration and how we will be experiencing space in our lifetimes, feel free to subscribe